Welcome back, off-road enthusiasts. Today, I'm about to take your off-road adventure to the next level. If you've ever wondered how to get that perfect jump with a smooth landing, then this is the video for you. On this video, I'll be diving into the world of bypass shocks and how they can revolutionize your off-road experience. If you can't already tell, a bypass shock isn't just your ordinary shock. These are the secret weapon for enthusiasts who are trying to catch some serious air or just all-around performance. Installing them properly is the key to unlocking their full potential, so stick around while we walk you through the step-by-step installation process. Now, before we begin the install, it's important to know the basics of how a bypass shock works. On this triple bypass shock from Locked Offroad, we have 2 compression tubes and 1 rebound tube. As the shock compresses, oil is able to bypass the piston by going through these compression tubes. You can adjust the firmness of the compression by opening or closing these one-way valves. Opening the valve all the way on these compression tubes will make the shock feel softer, while closing it will make it feel firmer. Closing off the valve in these tubes will force the oil to pass the piston through this shock, which will result in firmer compression or rebound settings. You'll also notice that this bypass shock has the remote reservoir tube coming out of the bottom of the shock instead of the top. Since there is no remote reservoir tube coming out of the top of this shock, there is nowhere else for the oil to escape to. The top portion of this shock is also called the bump zone because this is going to be the firmest part of the shock. That is exactly what you want in a shock because this is going to help prevent you from bottoming out your shock when you're going off a big jump. Anyways, enough of that, let's get on with the install. Today, I'm here at MZ Customs in San Jose, California. Now, I've been to a lot of different shops in my time, and this is the only shop I trust to help out with installs, so if you're in the area, make sure to hit them up. Today, we're installing this full bypass shock kit that comes with everything you need to complete the install. Each kit comes with these heavy-duty TIG welded shock tower reinforcements. These are TIG welded on both the inside and the outside. Of course, you get a pair of your main shock tower tubes. You'll also get a pair of these frame plate gussets and a pair of these frame support tubes. You'll get a pair of these upper shock mounts with gussets tacked in place. And you'll also get a pair of these lower shock mounts, which are kit specific for the BTF long travel kits, although they would probably work with any other long travel kit as well. And of course, we can't forget the hardware. This kit comes with all of the necessary grade 8 hardware that you need to complete the install. To start off this install, of course, we're first going to take off the wheel and tire, and then you're going to need a wire wheel to clean off any parts of the frame that we're going to be welding on. Here you can see the frame is really clean looking, and this is exactly what we want before we move on to the next step. Next, we're going to bolt on the upper shock tower reinforcement with the included grade 8 hardware, and then we can position the main shock tube for the first mock-up. You'll want to tack the short 2-inch diameter tube onto your main shock tube, and then we'll tack the whole thing to the vehicle. These shock tubes are side specific, so make sure you grab the tube where it is angling slightly outwards and away from your wheel wells. You'll also want to tack the tubes to your frame support plate and then the frame support plate to the frame. And if you ever have to move it, just remove the tack on the frame support plate and you can move the whole unit as one piece. Before we begin to tack on any shock mounts, make sure to take off the limit straps so your coilovers are at full extension. You want the coilover in the bypass shock to hit full extension and full bump at the same time. So right now, with the coilover at full extension, go ahead and put the shock mounts onto your bypass shock and then line it up by hand and tack it into place. You'll likely have to position the shock tubes a few times, and you'll also likely have to shorten the shorter side of the main shock tube because it comes with a little bit of extra length in case you need to make any adjustments and also to fine tune it for your application. Every time you tack the shock into place, make sure to fully cycle the suspension to check for any areas where you might have clearance issues. Some notable areas to watch out for is clearance with the tie rod and also your upper control arm. You're also going to want to put your tire on and turn the tire back and forth fully all the way to check for any other areas where you might have a clearance issue. These heavy-duty lower shock tabs are designed specifically for these BTF kits, and you'll see that the bottom parts of the shock tabs line right up with the crease on these BTF lower control arms. With the cycling of the suspension done, you can begin to weld everything in. Just make sure to disconnect the battery from the vehicle because you don't want to accidentally fry all of your electronics. For the main shock tube, you're going to want to remove it from the vehicle and then fully weld it before reinstalling it onto the vehicle. These aren't included in the kit, but I like to use these shock welding spacers from 4Runner Customs because these make sure to keep the shock tabs positioned at the perfect 1.5 inches, so when we install them later, we're not going to have an issue when installing our shocks. After you've finished all of that shock tube welding, you can reinstall it on the vehicle and finish off by fully welding on the frame support plate. After having everything welded in place, go ahead and cycle everything one last time. You really want to make sure that your bypass and coilover shocks are perfectly in parallel with each other, and if you installed a hydraulic bump stop like I had done here at MZ Customs, you want to make sure that that bump stop is also bottoming out at the same time as your coilover and bypass. Oh, and try not to let it fall off the jack like I did right here. So you'll see right here, our hydraulic bump stop is actually limiting the suspension from compressing any further, but the cool thing about these bump stops from Locked Offroad is that they are fully threaded, so it's pretty easy to move it up to where it needs to be. The nice thing about these Locked Offroad bypasses is they include their very own remote reservoir mounts. These mounts can be installed directly onto the bypass shock tube, which is what we did here, and it ended up coming out looking really good. We also took this time to trim even more off of the fender, and we ended up moving the fender flare up on the fender by about another 2 inches. If you can't already tell by the dirt on the car, we have already finished the install and we have taken it out to test it. Before I show you the footage of us putting the car to use, I'm first going to show you how to adjust the bypass shocks. Adjusting the shocks is actually quite easy. All you need is a 4mm Allen key and a 12mm wrench. So if you remember from earlier, this tube at the top is our rebound tube, while the two on the back side are our compression tubes. For demonstration purposes, I will be adjusting the rebound tube, but the same thing applies to both of the compression tubes. At the top of your tube, you'll notice that there is a screw with an Allen key head, and it is locked in place by a 12mm nut. Turning the screw inwards will make your rebound or compression firmer, while turning the screw out will make it softer. To adjust the screw, I'm first going to start by loosening the 12mm nut. Now that the nut is loose, we can just thread it up by hand, and using our 4mm Allen key, we can now tighten down the screw or loosen it as necessary. Once you're done making your adjustments, go ahead and tighten it back down with your 12mm, and then you're ready to go. So it is as easy as that when it comes to tuning your bypass shocks. Now that we've got that out the way, we're gonna go find a little jump and put it to the test. So for the first off-road test, we went to a local spot to try and find some decent sized bumps to drive over. We won't be sending it too hard today, at least until we get the rear suspension dialed in. The rear suspension just consists of some cheap shocks and springs, and we were also hearing a lot of pop from the rear end, which I'm pretty confident is coming from the Eimkeith link reinforcements. I've trimmed it down in the past and it seems to be a common issue that people deal with, but at least it should be an easy fix. So this was my first run at this little bump, and basically I'm just making sure that everything cycles properly and that we don't have any clearance issues and that the bump stops are set at the right location. This time around I hit it a little faster and you'll see that there's no harsh bottom outs, which is a really good thing, but it looks like it could probably use a little bit more compression dampening. So that is it for today's video, and if you thought that was cool, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we have some big upgrades coming up for the 4Runner, including a full cantilever and 3-link kit for the rear suspension. Those videos will be coming up next, so I'll see you guys next time.